More grocery worker reports, and we're getting farm updates coming in from farms and people driving by farms, confirming what we've been hearing, that there is just not a lot of corn and rice being planted out there. Big news on that front. We also have reports coming in from some of the viewers talking about how we're running out of canned vegetables in some places. So we have more on that. That and more on this viewer update report. Welcome to the Poplar Report. I'm Steve Poplar. I'm an accountant by trade, and I'm all about gathering information, and you guys are providing a lot of information to us so that we can bring that back out and provide great reports that give a lot of insight and give a lot of warnings about what's going on out there. We also want to thank our sponsor, Genesis Gold Group. They do a fantastic job moving people out of IRAs that are in stocks and bonds over to gold, silver, and platinum, something more stable. If you want to talk to Jonathan and his team, there'll be a link at the end of this video. Let's jump into it, folks. So this is from the wife of a worker who says, "My husband said this at his work." This is a Kroger affiliate in Pacific Northwest. Corn has been in short supply. We've been hearing that all over the place, right? They order pallets, and every one of them gets canceled. Likely no corn on the cob for the 4th of July. Are you paying attention yet, folks? Are you paying attention? Lots of shortages on items at the shipping level. The store is moving stuff around to fill gaps as corporate has held a hiring freeze, forcing workers to do the job of multiple people. That explains some of the supply chain issues we're having, doesn't it? Profits are soaring for the company, as well as food prices have gone way up. Our Walmart does not carry in stores, so I order Keystone meats online, but they have been out of stock for the past 4+ months. Thanks so much for all you do. We have purchased ahead based on videos, which has saved us as we have had unexpected medical bills and are able to skip paying insane current prices for foods and live off what we've been able to pay. Our own personal SHTF is now very survivable because of our preparation. So these reports are important, folks, and getting the best information out there is super important as well. So thank you all for your reports. If you want to send in your reports, please just use the word update on a comment on any one of my videos, and that will get it to the right place. Let us know geographically, roughly where you are, and let us know what you've learned firsthand. We want to get firsthand reports, right? Selah says in upstate New York, Walmart today seemed pretty well stocked, but a second look revealed 2 of the former food aisles were completely given over to candy and snack food. So less food, more garbage, right? Each side was loaded with junk food. The meat bin was stocked with pre-made salads, etc. from the deli, no meat. The pasta section shrunk from 3/4 of the aisle to 1/3 of the aisle. Hannaford was very spotty, hit and miss on all aisles. Noticeable gaps in frozen food, canned fruit, and creamers. This is from Greg, who lives in eastern Pennsylvania. We traveled from Coatesville, which is in Pennsylvania, to Hershey. Now having lived in Ephrata in Lancaster County, I'm somewhat familiar with the crops and what should be growing. I noticed in my travels a lot more wheat being grown where there should have been corn. This is David. Steve, when I was up around Grand Rapids last year, I noticed a lot of apple orchards did not get picked. This is last year, right? The apple orchards did not get picked because I don't believe they had the workers they needed to pick them. Tons of apples all over the ground. Blueberry orchards had the same problem. Too bad Americans are too lazy to get out into the fields and pick the crops. Well, when people start getting hungry, that may change in a hurry, right? But I expect prices to go up dramatically before we see that shift. This is from Francis. I live in a small city between California border and Nevada border. Yesterday at Walmart, there was not one can of great value veggies anywhere. and very little of the name brand. Shelves empty. Shocker, as we are usually very well stocked, which is why my friends have called me crazy for 2 years. Now who's crazy? People who don't buy insurance look smart until they need insurance. It's in that catastrophic day when everything is falling apart that little thing that you were saving money on would have saved your entire year or years, right? Mama B says, no canned fruit in large Walmart in southern Missouri. Ken says, just a comment on Dollar General. 4 of them are within half an hour drive. None of them are even decently stocked. Around here, Dollar General has become a waste of time. This is in Northeast Tennessee. And we're seeing that out there, that the lower price stores are getting hit the hardest. Dollar Generals, Dollar Trees, and even now Walmarts are starting to get a lot more spotty because they can't afford better workers, and it's expensive to keep their distribution systems going. Whereas more expensive grocery stores are keeping their shelves fairly well stocked. Countries that are impoverished are having a harder time keeping food on the shelves there, whereas America is much better off. I mean, it's the story. New Mexico Life says, southern New Mexico had a late frost that killed off the peaches for this year. Yes, that's just what we needed. More peaches being killed off. We have the problem in Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, peaches being killed off in those areas because of a whole bunch of issues down there. It says also, it also decimated our pecan crop for this year, estimating a 90% loss for my orchard. Now with an extreme heat wave, the pinto bean crops might be in danger as well. Stock up now. Pinto beans are a core fundamental for stocking up, right? Rice and pinto beans is the best way to get stocked up. But if we're having issues with pinto beans down there in southern New Mexico, that is a concern as well. But definitely the fruit, and we've heard a lot of pecan trees and a lot of fruit trees being torn down last year and the year before in California due to the drought. They weren't able to get the water to them, and so they just figured they'd just rip them out of the ground. And that was years and decades worth of development that has been torn down that's not going to be easily replaced. That's some of the nut trees and such. Rob in Western Washington has this update. The Safeway store in our area is known for having excellent produce. My wife was there yesterday and the vegetables and fruit were just plain sad. Oranges were 1/3 green and looked like seconds. Lettuce showed slight browning and was wilted. Now this is on the shelf, right? Napa cabbage was wilted and had actual rotted areas. So even in the best places, we're seeing the cracks starting to show up. You can still stock up now. There's still plenty out there to go grab now, but things can turn in a hurry. We've seen things change. We've seen the light switch get flipped. You hear in your area about how there's going to be a snowstorm, how there's going to be an inch of snow, and if you're in the south, suddenly the stores get cleaned out like that. You hear a hurricane is coming your way, store gets cleaned out like that. Friends, it won't be that different if there is a genuine panic in the United States. If real war actually starts, you're going to see something. The United States has not been on the receiving end of a serious adversary arguably since the Korean War. Okay, we've gone and attacked people for the last 50 years, 60, 70 years, but we haven't actually had anyone ever really attack us for our military forces in a real way for a long time. And so In the Korean War, we really were toe-to-toe with a force that was comparable to us. And especially when in the Chosin Reservoir campaign, when the Chinese came across the border and just rolled us up, it was just devastating. So we definitely had some serious back and forths there. But I mean, in Vietnam, we were really just going over there and attacking them. Now, I know there's stuff going back and forth, but that was a place of our choosing. And generally speaking, when they went toe-to-toe with us in Vietnam, we won. But that's not going to be the case in what's coming. When we start standing toe-to-toe with some near-peer adversaries or peer adversaries, we're going to see a panic like we haven't seen in a long time. American people are used to being totally safe, totally immune to any of the things that are happening in other countries. Anyway, Leslie from Southern Indiana says, was at Walmart today, no canned green beans or corn, no fruit cocktail, very low on lunch meat, cereal, and bread, no dry cat food or cat litter. This is from the 3D Hermit. I live in southeast Missouri, where there's usually almost nothing but rice fields around me. And that makes for extremely bad mosquito problems. This summer, we just had a report out there that malaria has been detected inside the United States, by the way, for the first time. That's just an isolated thing. It better not spread. But, sorry, mosquito problems. This summer, there's almost no mosquitoes, and I notice why. There's only one rice field that I've seen this summer. The rest are corn, cotton, and soybeans. So, of course, there is a lot that goes into growing rice. It's a complicated crop to grow, and it takes a lot of fertilizer and a lot of water, whereas corn takes less. And then less fertilizer and water from corn down to wheat, of course. Granite Moss in New Hampshire says, I went to the bakery outlet yesterday, and while I found what I wanted, the cashier, who has worked there for years, mentioned stock has been unusually low. They aren't getting their usual amount, and I was lucky to come when I did, when they had a good variety of items. All right, folks, that's what we got report-wise. If you want to check out another video from this channel, you can check it out right here. If you want to check out Genesis Gold Group, you can go to their website and just find out some more information right here. Thanks so much for watching, folks. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report, out.